there, I am a new reseller. I've sourced almost everything from the Goodwill bins, but recently I tried estate sales, and my first two couldn't have been more different. One was walkable, one was an hour drive away, and both of them changed how I think about paying up for inventory. So I'm a newer reseller. I've been just doing this for, a couple of months. I started out just selling on Poshmark. Now I cross-list. I sell on Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, and Depop. And I am fortunate in that I am located near a Goodwill bins, a Goodwill clearance outlet, where instead of paying by piece, you pay per pound. So at my local Goodwill bins, I tend to pay $1.59 a pound for the stuff that I sell in my store. So that's pretty cool. That means, for like a shirt, I'm paying about $1. For a pair of shoes, maybe $3, $4, $5. And as long as I'm brand savvy, I can usually find some kind of margin on a lot of this stuff. The trouble with the Goodwill bins is that they throw it all into one area. Some people, when they donate their items to charity, will donate really good condition items. This is stuff that is new with tags or is pre-owned but has no flaws. Some other folks will donate things that have a lot of holes in them, stains, missing buttons, and I'm not here to shame anybody. We're all trying to keep stuff out of the landfill, but the condition can be different. It could be something where, a shirt has a bunch of holes in it, it's missing buttons, and it's stained. Most people are not going to want to buy that to wear, and resellers like me and other folks that flip thrifts, they're going to have a hard time unless it's a really good brand, really expensive item, finding a buyer for that. So condition is always a pitfall at the Goodwill bins. So I started looking kind of at some other channels that resellers commonly use. A lot of folks will buy at yard sales. It is currently January in the Pacific Northwest. That is not yard sale season for here. Besides that, yard sales can be really hit or miss. Some of them are fantastic when people are really pricing things to move to get stuff out of their house. Other times I've been to yard sales where people are putting their used clothing up for more than they can get online. So it really depends, on how the person who runs the yard sale prices it. The other big option that's really good if you kind of want yard sale-ish experience is something called estate sales. So for people who aren't familiar with estate sales, just briefly, somebody is selling usually the contents of their entire household. And this can be for a number of reasons. Probably the two most common reasons are someone passes away and these are their effects and their relatives are selling it. That's why it's called estate sale, to cover the costs of the estate. But it's not always that. Another common reason that people run estate sales is because they are moving for relocation for work. So somebody get a job somewhere else and they need to liquidate all the stuff that isn't worth paying movers to move, right? So that's kind of how that works. Typically what happens, it's kind of neat. You go to the house and it's all opened up, and usually everything's staged within the house, so you're walking through the kitchen, and at the ones I've been to, the spices will be out and people will be like, oh yeah, it's like $1 for this new thing of spices or whatever. They'll have all the groceries and pantries stuff all out, and they'll have kitchen tools and obviously lots of clothes and shoes, which is great. So I'll kind of give you an idea of the first couple that I went to, because I think it's very instructive. Actually, the first sale I went to was a complete accident. It was right in my neighborhood. I could actually walk to it, and I had seen it when I was coming back from shipping sales. Basically, I would come back from the post office and I saw a sign up that said estate sale. I was like, oh, that's cool. Well, I think I'll go walk over and check it out. And I did. So it was actually really cool. I'll tell you what I got at this estate sale. So the first thing I got was men's size 10 LL Bean mock duck shoes. These were so cool, like leather and rubber. They were marked for $8. Now, $8 is a lot more than I'm used to paying for a pair of men's shoes. I am used to bins prices. These same shoes in the bins would have been like half that. But these were such high quality. The Sherpa looked great. They were like immaculate condition. Now, I know that they're a size 10 men's because I took them home and measured them. There was no visible size marking on the shoes. They looked like men's shoes. They looked like a good size, just me eyeballing it, but I knew I was gonna have to go home and measure the insole and measure the outsole and everything and correlate it to see what the size was. I was a little nervous about that. I have sold men's shoes that way before. I actually recently sold some Cole Haan leather slip-on shoes that had no mark size, and I had done the same thing, and they actually sold pretty well. So I was like, okay. And I knew that LL Bean mock duck shoes, really depending, can be anywhere kind of like from 50 to 70-ish, you know, depending. So I was like, you know what, I will spend $8, I will take them home. I was really conflicted though, because I am really cheap after being at the bins for so long, and I wasn't sure that they were actually a good size because I was just eyeballing it. And so that's all I bought that first day. It was just that pair of LL Bean shoes. I was going through the rest of the house, and like everything was kind of priced beyond where I felt I could get my money out of it. It was also really, really busy. This was the first day of the estate sale, and the place was swarming. I also had a bunch of work to do at home. So I just bought those LL Bean shoes and I came home. And then it was a few days later, it was the last day of the sale, the estate sale, and I was just thinking, because the lady had said that the last day everything was going to be like half off. So I was like, you know, I was at home, I was kind of bored. I was like, I think I'll go and I'll head out and see if there's anything that I want to get. Because a lot of the prices didn't make any sense at full price, but at half price, they could make a lot of sense. Now, I hadn't really tagged anything in my brain because like the place was swarming with people and the prices were just not making sense to me at full price. So I didn't have anything in mind because I didn't know until I was leaving the estate sale that it was going to be 50% off that day. So I wasn't looking around for like when I was in the house for stuff that I could grab at half off. So I went back in with fresh eyes and I found a whole bunch of stuff. So I found some Dansko clogs, size 39, with this cool galaxy print. I also found women's size 9.5 leather Liz Claiborne lace-up boots, which I've already sold. I also found some Duluth trading fire hose pants. They're a good size. I found LL Bean crop jeans, women's size 12 petite. And I also found a women's extra large Columbia zip-up fleece. It had a little bit of wash wear, it had a little bit of wear to the zipper pull, but the zipper still worked. And for all of that, for the clogs, for the boots, for the fire hose pants, for the crop jeans, for the Columbia zip-up fleece, for all of it, for the whole thing, I spent $35 total, which is more per item than I would have spent at the bins, but I didn't gamble on any of it. Like, it all made sense for me for upside. And it was kind of cool because the estate sale felt a lot different to me. And it was in a good way. There were a lot of known brands, known sizes, visible condition. I wasn't digging for hours. I was able to go in both times and I was in and out in like 5 or 10 minutes. As opposed to doing a bins haul, I'm in there at least an hour if I get lucky, maybe 2 or 3 if I don't, to get, you know, my batch. So I felt pretty good about that. And I've already sold the leather lace-up boots, which have already recouped the cost of that. And I have all that other stuff to sell. The LL Bean duck mock boots probably sell anytime. I have them priced a little high. They're getting lots of attention, lots of watchers, lots of likes on Poshmark. So I have a feeling that those are going to sell to the right buyer. I could offload them a lot quicker if I had them listed at 50, but I have them priced high. I have them priced at the 70, and I'm going to see, you know, I'm always open to reasonable offers, but it's good to, something like that is very special, especially to me. I'm originally from Maine, so they're very nostalgic to me. My father used to wear that shoe, so, my late father. So for me, it's kind of sentimental and cool. It was very much meant to be. So after that, my husband Justin was really, really pumped just to see me step out and do something a little different. I had such good luck with that first estate sale that I was like, you know, maybe I'd like to go to another one sometime. So I did some research and I found a website, and it's called estatesales.net. And what I did was I went in there and I basically signed up for email alerts with my zip code and radius around it. I think I have mine set for 30 miles or something, which was interesting because the next estate sale I went was nearly 40 miles away. It was actually outside of my radius, but the newsletter sent me other stuff in my region. So I'm in the Pacific Northwest. It sent me the entire West Coast. I am getting alerts about sales in California and things like that. So I saw one that was about an hour drive away from me. And I was talking to Justin. He happened to be off. It was kind of around the holidays. And I said to Justin, I was like, hey, you know, no pressure, but there's this estate sale. It's in this town that's about an hour away. I know it's a little far. I showed him on this estate sale site, you can look, they have pictures, everything they put up. They have pictures where they photographed roughly what's at it. I saw some shoes, I saw some clothes, not a ton, and I can't see what brands they are. So I am not sure whether or not it's going to be worth my while to drive the hour to and from. But if you want to go, you know, here's the website, here's the address, here are all the pictures. I don't know if you're gonna find any tools or anything. Justin's really handy, and we're still stocking the house with tools. We actually bought this house last year, so this is kind of a neat thing for us too, to kind of shop around, because you know how expensive household stuff, and some people have some old stuff they've had for a while that's really high quality. So I told Justin, I gave him an out. He's like, no, this sounds like an adventure. I'd love to go. It's not that far. Justin likes to drive, so that's nice. I'm usually a little bit more of a nervous driver, so he tends to be like a really good husband for me, actually, because of that. And in many ways, he's an amazing person. But anyway, he and I went out there, and we went and we shopped together, and it was really, really cool. So I did find some stuff. The first thing I found was Riker, I'm not sure how you say it, but they're leather comfort mule sandals, size 39. I paid $5 for them. This was nice too, because we were further out in the country, so the full price was the same as the half price closer to the city where I did my first estate sale. The second item I got was a Land's End hoodie. It's beautiful. It's purple. It's size 2X. It's zip up. I spent $8 for that for a couple of reasons. I am a Land's End girly. I like the hoodie. If it doesn't sell, I can wear that size. I would love to wear it. But Land's End tends to resell very, very well. A lot of my sales lately on eBay have been Land's End, quite a few of them. So I felt good about paying up. It's in excellent shape. It's really soft. The next thing I got was a Polo Ralph Lauren size extra large for $5. And I have recently sold 2 Ralph Lauren shirts. So again, this was something else that is tested for me and something I'm having a lot of luck with. I've been selling, I want to say my Ralph Lauren is mostly selling on Poshmark, but I knew I could get my money out of it for $5. Like, my Ralph Lauren stuff has been selling about 26 or so. And then the coolest part is that Justin actually found a couple things for me to sell. So I was going through and I found the shoes, and I was looking through some of the brands and everything, seeing what was in the closet. And Justin actually spotted these 2 fossil leather purses. Okay, so I got 2 fossil leather purses. I spent $10 a piece for them. And Justin actually spotted these. He's actually kind of out in the rest of this bedroom area. And Justin asked me, hey, is Fossil a good brand? And I got to say yes it is actually, especially with the leather. So some of this Fossil stuff can be kind of, doesn't hold up really well, but their leather bags tend to be very durable. There's actually kind of a cult following for Fossil on the subreddit Buy It for Life, which is a forum where they talk about things that are kind of a one and done purchase and have durability, and a lot of people swear by Fossil bags. So $10 is a lot more than I'm used to paying at the Goodwill bins, but Justin found these 2 really cute bags. One was black, the other one was kind of an olive green. They need some leather conditioning. They're in good shape though. There's one mark on the black one, and the olive green one has one of the side pockets has a missing zipper pull, but the zipper works. So yeah, he found those for me. I was very, very happy. Even with that, I got them home later, and I was kind of unloading the estate sale stuff. I was photographing the shoes and trying to figure out what to do with, you know, the clothing and everything, like what it would need for laundering and treatment and things. And I was looking through the bags, and I opened them up, and one of them had a $10 bill and an Estee Lauder lipstick that was in a gorgeous shade and was basically new. So if you don't know, Estee Lauder lipstick retails in the 40s, I want to say, like $40, $45 for a tube of this lipstick. It's a great shade. I would like to wear it, honestly. I don't normally spring for Estee Lauder because it is quite expensive, but it is a gorgeous shade. It's one that I like very much. And $10 cash. So to pay the $20 for the 2 handbags, get $10 refunded immediately and a free lipstick, it's almost like getting paid to take them home. So we were pretty pleased about that. Anyway, the takeaway here isn't that estate sales are going to be a replacement for the bins for me. They're not. They're a supplement. You know, I love the steady consistency of the bins. They're very reliable, very easy. There's something that, you know, I can get a lot of the volume. I actually heard a statistic from some very successful resellers today that there's like an 80-20 rule when it comes to reselling, in that 80% of your sales are going to be $20 or below. It's the low friction sale, it's the cheap replacement. So, you know, if you're looking at $20, $25 sales being your bread and butter, your 80%, then if you're having to pay $5 or $10 for a single item, that doesn't work out. But for those higher ASP pieces, for those quality pieces to kind of mix in your collection, it is just chef's kiss. It's fantastic, and honestly, on a personal level, it's really fun to go with Justin. He has a good time. Actually, since those first 2 sales, we hit another one, which also went well. The thing about estate sales is that you do pay higher cost per item, but there's lower labor, less mental load, and they're more predictable in a way. I was talking to Justin, they kind of scratch the yard sale kind of itch, except you're never going to have that person that's being completely unhinged and just wants to get rid of their stuff, like the crazy liquidator person, which is the ideal yard sale you want to go to, right? But usually things are priced kind of mama bear, especially if you go towards the end when they're trying to get rid of stuff. It's like an okay priced yard sale that's run really, really well. So everything's kind of that shopping experience, and it's less chaotic than someplace like the bins. I think if you go into it with the right mindset, you'll do really well. When I shopped at estate sales, I was cherry picking, not trying to recreate one of my 70-pound Goodwill bins hauls. You know, it's been really fun. Actually, after the second estate sale we went to, Justin and I stopped at an amazing sub shop and we grabbed lunch, and it turned sourcing into a date, not just a task. But yeah, I am still learning. Like, I have just gotten into estate sales. If you guys have any other tips or tricks or things I should know about, I'm all ears. I'm really excited. I'm starting to kind of figure out what estate sale companies run which estate sales in my region and what it means for pricing and for the kinds of items, and it's all very exciting. So yeah. Anyway, it's been great talking to you as always. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.